My name is Vladimir, and I founded Overcome the Barrier in 2008, right after I got let go from Goldman Sachs, where I was working in tax reporting group. But I didn't leave that place empty-handed. I was able to introduce this concept of financial reporting and tracking to language teaching. When I first sat down with my first student, I opened Excel file and started typing everything he said in column A, and then copied and pasted it column B and made the corrections. We later transitioned to Google Docs and Skype when we started connecting teachers and students remotely. This allows us to provide continuous feedback to both teachers and students, track progress on a lesson by lesson basis, and bring unprecedented level of accountability to this industry. We mostly worked on the B2B sector, and this didn't go unnoticed as we started getting some traction. Rashid Kusimbayev recognized the potential of this business and invested 200,000 at the end of 2012. We then continued to expand in Russia and other countries, but unfortunately, the economic conditions in most of those countries worsened, and our corporate clients decided to cut out their expenses on training and development. But in the meantime, we decided to develop our own platform, and as we did that, we realized that perhaps it's a good idea to revisit targeting individual learners and K through 12 schools as well as universities. The problem on B2C sector is that after the student finds the teacher that they like, they stop paying the provider. At the same time, with schools and other universities, as soon as there's a lot of inefficiency and lack of accountability, which results in a lot of waste. And at the same time, countries like Japan, South Korea, and Turkey are planning to spend tens of billions of dollars in the next few years. In the last 8 years, we worked on arguably the most demanding sector of this market and developed some pretty good traction. We rely on the method that we developed to collect big data, analyze it, that helps sustain motivation for each learner. Without any further ado, let me introduce you to show you the demo of our lessons.
For several decades, the way to teach a language has almost solely been through textbooks and exercise sheets. The problem with this approach is that it is ineffective at helping people truly communicate. That's why we at Overcome the Barrier are changing how teachers teach languages and how students study them. This is Overcome the Barrier for Teachers.
Hola, estoy bien. ¿Tú?
¿Hablas mejor ahora que antes?
Sí,
¿Sí?
sí, claro. Yo puedo hablar con I don't remember. People.
Gente.
Sí.
Gente.
Con gente muy fácil y mejor. Yo necesito tiempo para adjust.
Ajustar, pensar, quizás.
Ajustar y a pensar. Porque es un poco difícil de find the words.
Encontrar las palabras.
Sí, encontrar las palabras.
Instead of targeting students, we'll be targeting teachers who post their profiles online in order to find more work and increase their revenue. We will provide them with the ability to generate around $40 more per month per student with a 80-20 split in revenue. The competition is very stiff. There are the ultimate disruptors like Rosetta Stone and Duolingo, but they lack student and teacher interaction. And if you and I'll let you look for Charles Barkley failing miserably trying to learn Spanish using Rosetta Stone. Our closest competitors are probably marketplace players, but again, they only match the student and teacher at the beginning, and after that, there is no need for the teacher to continue to pay for using their service. And there are the incumbents. That's been in operations for years, but let's face it, they failed miserably. The gap in English language proficiency still remains all across the world. And there is Open English, the company that's raised a lot of money, but if you ask an average user, they're pretty dissatisfied with that service. We ultimately want to become the software as a service provider, where we will offer freemium subscription to our teachers who will then solicit the students and charge them anywhere from $10 to $40 per month. We will keep only 25 cents. We'll also partner up with existing universities such as Tokyo City University and help them start generating revenue in the area where they didn't have service before, both inside the school and out. It is estimated that there are about 1.5 billion learners of English globally, and the market size at $193 billion. We think that an average teacher has about 15 students who study about 6 times per month, and we will charge them 25 cents per lesson. That's how we arrive at our sales numbers. But as I mentioned, $400 to $500 additional revenue per month per teacher will result in added value for teachers. And for learners, we estimate that at least $1,000 they'll be able to save on what would normally cost them to learn English language to the level where they start to the level of fluency. I will skip over myself and Rashid since we already mentioned him and myself, and move on to Bradley, who's been behind us, helping us migrate from Google Docs to our own platform, designed all the graphs and tracking tools. And most recently, we've added Takahara Tozuka as an advisor, who is a famous Japanese architect who designed Fuji Kindergarten and had an associated TED Talks. He has very good connections with Ministry of Education in Japan and elsewhere. Stefan Eckert is another new addition who will be heading our global business development and who's been working as associate director in one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in Japan. Some of the recent milestones: we've developed and released our beta version and now testing with our existing clients on B2B sector, as well as very soon, in about a week or so, we will release our student side of the platform. And in June, we plan to have a discussion about partnering up with Tokyo City University, and hopefully with the help of Mass Challenge, start targeting teachers aggressively in November.